Hello and welcome back to Moondusk Masquerade. Last time we had our Cinderella moment, going to the ball, dancing with the prince and meeting other lovely people. I restarted the game and skipped forward to the end of the conversation with Leah, so we're starting from there. My only chance of surviving is by escaping the starry menagerie. For fate would have it, my short time as a Celestite has finally come to an end. I can't remember the last time I've run this fast without stopping. Perhaps it was once through the wildflowers of Vestum, and not at all while wearing a ball gown that is slowly fading into stardust. By the time I reach the manor's garden, my heart hasn't stopped pounding nor fluttering. All I can do is rest among the moonstone blossoms as my mask finally fades away. Now I feel even more like I don't belong here. But how could I ever find my way back into that palace? Back to a place where the magician welcomes me into a mystic circle, or where the roguish knight would rather tease me than to slay the beast? Or back to a place where the prince is resisting his deepest desires to fall in love? After knowing such a place exists, how is one supposed to return to this life? Is that not the world whose tales spoken of before the war divided my kind and theirs? Taking in the night wind, I hear a soft rustling nearby. I look down to the lunarian rose below and see another crystal envelope. Another letter. Opening it, my heart starts to flutter all over again. Your beauty may be something to behold, but it's your courage which has enchanted my heart tonight. In your celestial wake, you've left a lingering mystery upon my very soul. While you left before I could have seen under your mask, I desire another chance to lay claim to your precious spirit. For in 3 masquerades' time, the king will announce his heir soon to wed. And if you truly believe in destiny, then you must make your glorious return to set this magic in motion. Only then will you part through the veils of this court in all its love and lies. And importantly, you'll discover who seeks to capture your heart with words of passion in both ink and whispers. So tell me, my starlit wonder, will you meet me again at the next moonlight masquerade? The next day. Heading home from the village, I can't help but notice the castle grounds and think back to that magical night. It was a night full of wonder and mystery, of endless possibilities. Only now, that night feels like a dream I desperately wish I could slumber back into just to see that face again. I know I should keep walking, but I find myself stopping to enjoy the sight past the gates ahead. Before taking another step, a familiar crimson beauty catches my eye. Wait, I recognize those flowers. Those aren't at all native to Celarune. I didn't even think they'd be able to grow here, considering how most fairies might find them ordinary. Unlike the other flowers around, I remember seeing these ones while growing up in Vestum, at least from what I can remember of those painted fields. But this kind, they used to grow wildly in the bushes outside of my family's cottage. Mother used to bring a bouquet inside so that our home would always smell fresh and sweet in those dewy mornings. If I'd known that such flowers were also growing in Celarune all this time, I surely would have tried asking his lordship and lady to let me keep some in my room. Then again, why would this royal family be keeping them in the first place? Reaching the gate, I tried to get a closer look at the petals in full bloom. Just because they don't glow in the moonlight doesn't make them any less extraordinary. After all, a rose is still a rose, no matter from which land they're from, isn't that right? If only I could let this one grace my bedside table, right beside my books. Are we really glancing over the letter, like no thinking about it, or will that come later? I mean, it's up for interpretation. Who wrote it, I suppose? Or if it was... That's a weird thought, maybe. Like the flower spirit being kind of playing wingman here, I don't know. To my surprise, one push is all it takes for the gates to the grounds to swerve open. Even if someone notices me, how would they know if I've made it a habit of breaking the rules lately? What was that about courage? I mean, sneaking into the ball is kind of one thing, but just breaking and entering, in a sense? I don't know. Most of them don't even know that I was among them that fateful night, let alone what this rose could truly mean for someone like me. I mean, strictly speaking, you're still stealing, but sure. Especially for someone who they've said doesn't belong here. I reach down, searching for the most beautiful rose of them all. Do I take this one or this one? Or shall I take this one with the... Just as I'm about to claim the rose with the most velvety petals, the prince's deep voice comes rumbling from behind. You'll be taking none of them. In a swift move, Prince Callan catches me by the hand and raises it high between us as I clutch my basket to me. Please, Your Highness, wait. Wait for what? For you to steal what's mine? Well, if you're not going to at least let me explain... No, you listen to me. As Callan yanks me towards him, I unceremoniously land on his chest with a thud. Classic. This isn't how we're supposed to meet again. Oh, thank goodness you're at least warm. What? What? Okay, I don't know. I wouldn't say this, but this is giving us away. I don't know. This is funny. You know what? Straightforward. This isn't how we're supposed to meet again. Meet again? In what universe would I consort with a bloody thief who dares to trespass my garden? That's not at all what... Enough excuses. I've already caught you red-handed. If I hadn't come to check up on my roses, who knows how many you would have taken by now. His breath tightens as he holds me out of the shadows. Once the moonlight finds us again, the prince can now take a better look at his thief. Who did you say you were again? Honestly, never mind. Thieves shouldn't have a right to any other name. These roses are mine, you know, not even His Majesty's or my mother's. They're mine to care for and to protect, especially from careless peasants like you. If you think I wouldn't do my worst for these roses, then you gravely misunderestimate me. The fact he keeps looking at me like a stranger only makes this moment worse. I can only hope that he doesn't recognize me at a time like this. Who do you serve anyway? I know you just came from the village markets. I was on my way back to the obstery house, Your Highness. You must be a new one then. I don't remember seeing you there the last time I paid a visit to Lord Olithorn. yet it's been a while since I've been ordered to. Considering I've served this family for a while now, I was likely there, but perhaps tending to the rooms upstairs. Unless you were privately invited last time by one of his daughters? Absolutely not. I don't call upon just anybody. In fact, don't you even dare get any ideas. If you must know, I'm still trying to understand how even a servant like you could have such a lapse in judgment. Honestly, kind of agree. Surely, however, there's an obvious reason why. Oh, so you will let me explain? Okay. You can just come out and say it then. It's not like you'd be the first in these lands to say it to my face, although you might be the first of your royal family to do so. Fine. Nobody expects mortals here to be anything but heartless or mindless. Instead of knowing your place and keeping your hands to yourself, you mortals think you have to claim what you want whenever you want. If it hadn't been for such false ambitions, the Chroma Wars wouldn't have ever put such a strain on our lands in the first place. I can only assume that you're simply one of the many captives that we chose to spare. And this is how you repay us? But I have been repaying you all day and every night with my life. Clearly, you haven't been paying enough. Then perhaps I'm simply guilty of the same passion you seem to share for your roses. That you seem to share for your roses, Your Highness. Would you really consider such feelings a crime? Before he can answer, we both hear the sound of footsteps marching in the distance. The guards have probably caught wind of my trespassing. It's either that, or the prince's parents can't stand losing sight of him for a minute. They're likely off checking the southern courtyard first. Then they'll start coming this way. Do you think you're fast enough to escape them? Unless you let me go, then I have no other choice but to find out. So, will there ever be a scenario where you'll accept the consequences? Considering your temper, I believe I have received my punishment already. That said, I would do this all over again for a chance at a rose that reminds me of my homeland. As I prepare to turn around and plan my escape, Callan doesn't waste time yanking me towards him again. Where do you think you're going? We aren't finished here. What is it going to take to keep you away from what's mine? I mean, I kinda just said so. I don't think I could stay away from your roses. You could give me what I truly want. You could give me a taste of your mercy. Huh. Not the first one, I don't think. You could give me what I truly want. That's very vague. I'm not sure where that's going. If it's just the rose, if it's, I don't know. A taste of your mercy. Ooh, I don't know. We're gonna barrel on and go with this one. Perhaps you could give me what I truly want. Backing towards the bushes, I can't help but run my hands gently along each rose's petals. If this is my last chance at freedom, then at least I want to remember how precious these flowers feel, just as they did back in Vestum. And that's even if my innocent gesture manages to stir something other than ire from the prince. Do you really still think you can get your way? You really can't part with a single rose. I thought fairies wouldn't find such ordinary roses worth safekeeping anyway. That's exactly why I choose to keep them. But why? It's not like I haven't been ordered to weed out common dandelions from the Oberstairy's garden before. Just because most of my kind doesn't care for Western plants doesn't mean we're all the same. You see those gorgeous petals, those calyxes? Perhaps they don't resemble anything like the roses native to our lands, but they clearly harbor an earthly and resilient beauty all of their own. It's a beauty I don't expect for just anybody to understand. If only the rest of the court could hear you say such things. But it's just us right now, isn't it? Crossing his arms, Callan rests against the tree to listen for the guards just beyond the glade. He keeps watching me, waiting for my desperation to send me fleeing from his sight. But like a flower to the sun, I turn to him instead. Why am I starting to think that you're here for something other than a rose? With the footsteps growing louder, Callan stops in his tracks. Get behind me, now. But, Your Highness, didn't you just say... Get behind me, now. The guards are sprinting this way, desperate to find their intruder. Just before they emerge from the mists, Callan presses me to his back with a hand tight on mine. There you are, Your Highness. Have you spotted them yet? Seen who? The gate was broken into just now. We've yet to catch them, but we suspect they must still be nearby. Is there a chance that it was all just some town scoundrel or careless peasant like last time? As it is, they're always playing games and tossing sticks into my rose garden. Peasants or not, we should still be keeping an eye out, Your Highness. We don't want the villagers thinking that these grounds are public, much less for any mortals to be getting any ideas. I wonder if it's too late for that. What was that, Your Highness? Nothing. Nothing that would aid your efforts, I suppose. He says it's nothing, but his touch is saying plenty. Not just on me, but on the roses too. Holding me in place, Callan turns his body just enough for the guards to cast a glance at the unassuming bushes. I think you'll find that there's no one here but me. If there were, you best know I would have taken care of them myself. That is, unless you and your man dare to question my capabilities. Not at all, Your Highness. We just can't take too many precautions in these times, as you're well aware. Well, if anyone's still here, I'm sure they'll be trying to hide out near the southern grounds. Go make sure that they stay away from my mother's lunaria roses in the chapel, will you? Of course, Your Highness. You heard him, man. To the chapel. Both Callan and I wait silently for the guards to storm off in a line. Even when the royal butt is back near the Queen's glade, Callan remains on his guard. That should keep them busy. As he finally lets go, he plucks the rose closest to me and hovers it between us. Give me a reason not to regret my act of mercy. I think you mean your act of generosity, Your Highness. If you find this to be generous, then you still have more to learn about me. As I reach for his hand, this rose becomes our sole witness to this forbidden exchange. For a moment, I wait for Callan to pull it away, yet he instead lets the rose fall onto my apron. I finally have my rose. But it isn't yours. No matter what you do, this rose can never be truly yours, because it will always be mine. Just like every other rose in this garden. After arriving home, a letter arrives for you. Okay, How possessive of roses can you get? I mean, I get it to an extent, but being like, okay, I give you this rose, but it's still mine. Hello? But I did, that was kind of the exchange I would have more expected with the prince initially. So everything at the ball was kind of went out of the window there, yeah? Okay. While the mortals may say that our fortunes must have smiled upon us that very night, those blessed by the moon know which celestial forces are truly at work to bring you here to me. While the mortals may say that our fortunes must have smiled upon us... What? Is it the same? It's the same twice. I can only imagine how long you've been gazing upon this world, as if these crystal doors would never open for you. But fear not, for I will not only be the one to open them, but I will be there at the gate to offer you my hand. Why spend time describing the majestics I could show you once I take you on this flight, when we can discover them together, one quill at a time? Should I offer to accompany my sisters to the castle? Should I tear this letter before someone finds it? Ha. Blessed by the moon know which celestial forces are truly at work. Offer my sisters to accompany them. I mean, they will say no, won't they? Tear the letter. Does it matter? I can see both of these going wrong, kind of. I mean, I guess this is the more optimistic choice, so asking doesn't hurt. I don't know, it'll probably go wrong either way, so let's try. Oh. When a lady of a noble house has to pay a visit to the court, it's common for her to bring one of her most trusted maids along. I see, okay. On most days, the role usually falls onto Clematis, the head maid of the Obastari house. But for today, it's been decided that I will accompany Lady Rhodora to her tea time at the palace. Lucky. Now that letter, I would assume, is from Miria. But we'll see. I was surprised when she even suggested the idea that I would come along with her. Yeah, same. She's never mentioned it before, so do I dare ask why now? As soon as we arrive, Lady Rhodora doesn't wait to toss her coat to me. Now, do make yourself scarce. The ladies don't particularly fare well with the extra company, otherwise they'll start asking you questions. You wouldn't want that either, would you? But aren't I supposed to be within a room's reach? That's what Clematis taught me to do. Not for today, my dear. You're to put my coat away and find someplace else to make yourself useful. If the other maids will allow it, why not volunteer in the kitchen? All I ask is you be ready with my things when it's time to leave. Is it really appropriate for me to ask them, my lady? Before she lets me finish, Lady Rhodora straightens her skirts and struts to the parlor room. Yet she doesn't care, she just wants you out of the way, out of the sight of the higher-ups. I can already hear the tea time chatter echoing off the walls. If she was planning on having me wait outside, then why didn't she ask Clematis instead? After putting Lady Rhodora's coat away, I reluctantly make my way to the kitchen. As I approach the door, I can hear the cook scurrying to prepare for tonight's supper. All of a sudden, the door swings open and the palace maid stops in her tracks. "Oh, are you lost, my dear?" "I would be if this isn't the right way to the kitchen." "Well, then you've come to the right place, but, I know exactly where our eyes have gone." "Oh, I see now. No ears, no wings, no aura. Who sent you here, my dear?" "Lady Rhodora of Overstarry. She's having tea with the other ladies, so she suggested that I could..." "Say no more. I can fetch you a proper apron in the meantime. You wait right here. If anyone asks, tell them Celinda has you now." I listen at the door as Celinda heads back inside to rummage through some cabinets. It's not long before she hands me a crisp white apron with gold trimmings. "You wouldn't be the first one they've sent over to us, although it's usually under other circumstances. That said, doesn't Lady Rhodora have other maids at her disposal? At least one she could openly keep beside her during tea time. It seems peculiar that she'd let you accompany her in public unless she had no other option. Oh, wait, have the Overstarries fallen into hard times? Is that it? Ah, let me get that apron for you first, and then you can tell me all about it. I'll be sure to report you with a little news of the prince as well." "Celinda, can I borrow your maid? Precisely this one." "Oh? Since when do you need a maid, O wise Grandia Stella? I thought that's what you had an apprentice for, and the librarian." "Well, I changed my mind for today, and I happen to like this one. I could offer you either saffron or astrophel, but I don't think either of them would be up for serving tea if they're forced to hold their tongues the entire time. So, can I borrow her?" "Well, of course, but..." I can't deny that I was becoming delighted at the prospect of a new maid. Then again, she isn't mine to begin with. "Well, perhaps we should conspire to steal her away from her captors, shouldn't we?" "Oh, if only we could be so bold. Now then, take her before I change my mind." "You're always my favorite maid, Celinda." "Well, come along with me, my dearest maid." With a spring to her step, Miria guides me deep into the sprawling palace halls. My savior! Here we are. Welcome to my domain. Oh, well, at least one of them. I have a proper workroom in the east wing, but the library has the best lighting in my opinion. I'd been wondering when I'd finally get the chance to show this place to you. The other night didn't particularly leave us with much of a chance of anything, did it? So, you do recognize me? Well, I'm quite sure I do now. To be fair, I was pretty certain of it since that night. I just know that it's better we keep it a secret between you and me for now. Only for now? Eventually, it could become a secret between you, me, and the moon. You should also know that your abrupt departure left quite a surprising effect on Callan. I've since been assuring him that he should keep his eyes peeled for your next appearance. You are planning on attending again, aren't you? Only if I stay with you this time, or I'm beginning to think this is all some kind of charade. I mean, both. Honestly, both. What is it? Okay, so Callan is clueless, but she knows, which... not so surprising, I guess, with how we met her. And Leah, I mean, he saw right through us from the beginning, so... So Callan is the only one who's a bit blind, Anyway, are we going to attend again? Again, it does seem kind of a setup, very weird situation. But honestly, yes, I want to stay with Miria this time. Only if I stay with you this time. With me? Me, really? And to what pleasure do I owe such lovely company? Well, would you be opposed at all to my company at the next ball? Not at all. Honestly, I'm just surprised, that's all. I'm accustomed to the guests arriving solely for one thing only, and that's for Callan. You're not just trying to tease me, are you? Otherwise, I might have to send you back to Celinda. At least it wouldn't be back to Lady Rhodora just yet. Oh heavens, I really should just make you my captive. Then I could just keep you right here beside me and share all of my trinkets with you while Celinda brings us some of her famous snowfrost breads. That sounds lovely. I've barely met the Oberstary family at other balls, but something tells me that they aren't the sort to be sharing good fortunes with. In our society, there are certain breeds of nobles who have been brought up to hate the mere mention of mortals, especially when discussing war or monarchy. While I can understand some of their sentiments, I can't say I share them all, if any. After some time, it becomes a chore having to listen to them lay blame upon everything but ourselves, but alas, even a court magician is told to behave. Let's keep this a secret between us, shall we? Yeah, you're talking quite openly. I mean, I agree with everything, of course, but yeah. Also, just paddling back a bit to that Celinda moment, she was out for gossip, right? And I mean, can't blame her. But if Miria's speaking highly of her, I guess it wasn't like in bad faith to get any advantage on someone or something, just good-natured gossip. Secret between us, With the way things are in this court, I doubt the king and queen's tastes in suitors for the son will ever improve. Hence why I thought I'd take a chance at matchmaking the two of you myself. You really did make an impression on Callan that night. Now that's another secret that should stay between you and me. So, let me get this straight. You want to help me meet with Callan again? I think it's important if you did, but not just because I'm saying so. Will you ever tell me why then? I'm sure there'll be a better time to explain everything, but not today. We're not exactly alone here. Pressing a finger to her lips, Miria points over to a shadow coming this way. A solemn fairy glides in, carrying a thick stack of books. So you finished sorting those journals already, Saffron? Where's your new maid? Sadly, she's not ours to keep, but don't think I won't try to weave something to change that. So, does this mean you're replacing Astrophil with this new apprentice? Who said I was ever going to replace them? As a matter of fact, I have Astrophil working on those firefly deco lights that the Queen's been muttering about for the theme to next ball. And so, I thought I could still use another hand on finishing that elixir for a certain night, hence the maid. Well, I hope she can assist well. Especially since neither Astrophil nor I are particularly in the mood to be stirring cauldrons. Neither am I. Hopefully, Lilica can enlighten me while I work on that alchemical recipe. Or if she's simply here to entertain me with her charm, I'll be just as delighted. It's strange to hear her say my name all of a sudden, and so warmly. I wonder what else she's since learnt about me, and from where. Yeah, from where, for sure. Well then, best wishes on your experiment, Grandia Stella. I'll get to putting those poetry books away next. Run along then, just so I can see what the good maid can really do. Giggling to herself, Miria directs me over to a bubbling cauldron stashed inside a makeshift nook of leather-bound text. Now, you'll see here that I've got a cauldron going with plenty of herbs and essences from the royal gardens. But now comes the fun part of adding in a freshly altered prism dust. Prism dust? I don't believe I've ever seen such a thing before. It's a rare form of moondust that fairies use to harvest during the solstices. Once you treat them with other flower essences, it creates a new material so strong and illustrious that it was once used by the umbral fairies to craft this very palace. Umbral fairies? But isn't this realm ruled by Celestite fairies? Well, here's a little history lesson for you. As you know, there's different species of fairies across the 3 main courts of Celeroon. The dominant species of the Sunbloom Court are Helian fairies, the lovers of the sun. The Serenvale Court is ruled mainly by Inflora, which is my species. We revolve ourselves around the stars and any flowers which respond to their celestial positions. Lastly, in the Moondusk Court, there were once 2 competing species of lunar fairies, the Umbrals and the Celestites. Before the war, the Umbral fairies used to rule in this very palace. However, according to Celestite historians, when the mortals of Vestum infiltrated through our portal, the Umbrals were the first to be attacked. In the aftermath, they went extinct, leaving the Celestites to start a new rule upon the land. Since then, certain things like harvesting prism dust have become a sort of lost art. At the mention of Celestite historians, it makes me think that maybe not everything people are taught in history lessons there today is necessarily true. Or is that going too far? I don't know. But then, how do you know how to make some? Well, as an Inflora, I've been taught by my ancestors and the Nimbus above on the potency of flowers, and more importantly, their transformative abilities when fused with moondust. Except, I'm still working on whether I could produce enough prism dust to add into this elixir. Sir Lear insisted that if he's going anywhere near that beast again, he's going to need something stronger than the usual antidotes we produce for the Royal Guard. As I'm suspecting him to be a bit of a crybaby on the field, I'm going to try to add some extra prism dust so he runs out of excuses and fights already. Making prism dust does require proper alchemical processes, some patience, and most of all. Miria plucks a crystal vial from beside the cauldron, thick with a bright silvery essence. The Tears of the Moon. It's quite a lovely little thing, isn't it? The Umbral fairies used to harvest this as well. The surviving texts say that it wasn't just used for making prism dust, but for plenty of other antidotes and oddities too. I only wish the Celestites had done more to recover the other texts for us to learn more about its mysteries. See? See, that's what I'm saying. Are they hiding stuff from the history, from anything about the Umbral fairies? Also, she mentioned that she's like also flowers. She mentioned flowers basically, and that's it. So the flower spirit might be connected to her. So that first question, we asked her if she's our flower. I think that wasn't too far off. While I keep listening, I'm strangely entranced by the silver in the vial. If there's one mystery I'd like to know about right now, it's why I'm feeling so parched all of a sudden. Even as she sets the vial aside, I can't seem to tear my eyes away from it. Miria, do you really not know what else those tears were used for by the Umbrals? I can only take a guess, but we know at least that it was often used in elixirs for raising one's stamina. But then again, it can be also used for forging these pillars you see all around this palace. And do the texts not say anything about how it tastes? Oh, its taste. As Miria stops to think, my eyes wander back to that vial. I don't understand. I've never had such a reaction like this before. I'm also getting parched here, what? Every time I look at those tears, I just feel this strange need, this sudden thirst. Then again, I suppose I didn't have much to eat before coming here. Still, shouldn't I be asking for some crystalline water or a bite of snowfrost bread instead? And yet, despite trying to be sensible about this, I want a taste. Oh, ask Miria for a taste or take the vial from her. Yeah, we're not just taking it. I think that's out of the question. And whatever this pull the thing has for us, we don't know if that's actually good for us. So even if this is also kind of awkward, we're not just taking the vial, we're going to ask her. Heavens above, I'm shaking just from watching her pick up the vial again. May Miria forgive me for the ridiculous request I'm about to make. Miria, could I ask you something else? That's what I'm here for, aren't I? How would you like for me to satisfy this curiosity of yours? Could I try a taste of those tears? Oh no, she stopped staring the cauldron. That has to be bad, isn't it? Oh, you do? Does it really look that appetizing to you? I do suppose it's probably better than whatever you've been served by that ruddy family before, but don't tell them that. Growing suspicious, Miria slowly teases the vial in front of my face. How curious and endearing. You really want these drops, don't you? Do you even know why? If I did, then I'd tell you before I embarrassed myself further. But if you did, then I wouldn't have the pleasure of seeing such an innocent reaction out of you. Just one drop, that's all I can spare, alright? One drop feels like it's all I need. As soon as she hands me the vial, I bring a single drop to my lips. A cool sensation spreads throughout my body, not only quenching this raging thirst, but by bestowing a gentle tranquility within me. Even for just this moment, I feel better than I felt in years. But now, here comes the aftertaste. It's not pleasant at all, is it? The last time I tried it myself, it sort of tasted like fumes. At least I know now that it isn't toxic if you've had some too. Well, as an Inflora, I tend to be immune to most toxins. So, those tears could still be poisonous to mortals? Miria, say something please. Well, why should I? I know you'll be fine. If you're immortal, then those cravings of yours are most likely the worst reactions you'll have to endure for today. If you were anything but mortal, then I would have certain questions. But I will say that I find your curiosity quite endearing, perhaps even bold and brave. I want to believe her, but she keeps trying to sound not so surprised. Dare I call you my favorite experiment of today? Trying not to laugh, Miria sets the vial aside to gently wipe my lips. There we go. Now there's no more evidence of your mischief. If only I really didn't have to give you back to your captors, then I could really... Suddenly, there's a loud knock on the door. Bang. My dear maid, Lady Rhodora wants to leave now. Oh, how can that be? It seems too early for anyone to be going already. Not unless Lady Myrtlecharm was also invited to today's tea. Lady Rhodora will actually leave if she's also attending, and all because of a missed birthday. Once again, the most baffling of creatures are hardly ever mortals, are they? I hope that's something you can remind yourself of until we meet again. Because whenever you're here with me, you should never be afraid of showing me who you truly are. After arriving home, a letter arrives for me, another one. I'm so popular. Wow. Wait, is this not the same thing? Okay, wait. While the mortals may say that our fortunes must have smiled upon us that very night, those blessed by the moon know which celestial forces are truly at work to bring you here to me. They say the most beautiful flowers in Celarune are the ones that grow precisely after rainfall. With the rain comes the rainbow, and when it makes contact with even the slightest bit of moon dust and falls upon the lands, it can restore our nature into its fullest glory. Have you ever seen such a phenomenon before? One that can make the midnight blossom bloom and blush so brightly. To see such wonder, one must follow a hidden cobblestone path that's not only been blessed by the moonlight, but by a delicate ray of sunshine. If you're yet to see such a wondrous thing, may I be the first to take you there? Should I search for such a path across the village? Should I go find serenity in those glorious rose gardens? Oh. Is that a choice of food to see? Like, I wondered that already with the previous one, if ripping up the letter would have meant we see someone else? If that's in the palace or not. Sorry. I'm also parched again. I mean, I think we've seen enough of the rose gardens for today. So I'm gonna go with the village. Some new scenery. I only have so much time today to collect my sister's dresses from the tailors before heading straight home for their fittings. They really should have sent those dresses to be altered sooner, but as usual, Lady Rhodora was trying to see if she could leave them mending to me. As luck would have it, she forgot she needed me to tend to the garden so the girls could have fresh blossoms weaved into their hair for the next ball. So, while I've been spared from mending ruffles, I was still placed on courier duty yet again. With the dresses bundled in their bags, I start making down the cobblestone streets to search for a carriage. I wonder if the one parked by the glass shop isn't waiting for someone already. I don't want to have to walk all the way back with these dresses. Oh, but what's going on in the streets? It seems like there's some kind of parade. The townfolk stop in their tracks as a brigade of knights march in formation through the streets. The mighty captain leads with her head held high to the skies and her hands tight on the hilt of her vermilion blade. wonder why the king's knights are here. Does it mean that Leah's also with them? Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if the village meant we get to see Leah again. We want a bit of everything here, right? Row by row, I try to search for him, but he's nowhere in sight. Well, it's possible that some of the other knights have been sent off on other duties. I'm still not quite sure what they're marching for, although the captain seems to be keeping an eye out for something. Could they be patrolling the area for the penumbral beast? While watching the brigade make their way to the pavilion, I suddenly hear someone mutter at me. Over here. Oh, did someone say something? I look over to see who's nearby, but everyone else is heading over to watch the parade. It was barely more than a whisper, but I know I heard a voice earlier. And again, with so much commotion going on, it could also be nothing. Or could it? Go on your way or look up. With that many exclamation points, let's look up. Before I go, something tells me to look up at the windows. All I can see are Celestites putting their flags out in celebration of the next ball soon. This whole court really wants to see some kind of change, don't they? They're hoping that Callan's upcoming betrothal might be exactly what this court needs, but will it truly be the boon they've been waiting for? More importantly, will it be for Callan? All of a sudden, I see a cloaked figure jump from one window and into the other. What was that? Before I can even blink, I hear the sound of armor clinking towards me. You there, did you see where he went just now? I'm still trying to understand what I even saw. It's one of my knights, I'm afraid. He's trying to go rogue again. If you see him, please don't be afraid to tell me or one of my knights. You can also tell him that Captain Andalion will have plenty of choice words for him. That scoundrel is most likely hiding out near one of the pubs. Eyeing the windows, Captain Andalion marches off. Could that really have been Leah in the window? That shadow moved so quickly that I could barely catch if they even were wearing a cloak. If you lower your voice a little more, then you'll have your answer. So that was you. I was serious about you keeping quiet. If they find us, then perhaps you'll have a reason to hide too. Well, why me? I told the captain the truth. Even if you did, I don't know if she'll believe you much longer. From the corner of my eye, I notice a flash of vermilion waiting for us at the other end of the street. There you are, you rake. This time, I'm not going to let you out of my sight. That might be a bit difficult even for you, Captain. You see, I don't particularly enjoy being caught. Therefore, so long, Captain. Leah turns on his heel and starts running, but not before taking me along with him. You scoundrel! Don't think you can get away with what you did. Knights, assemble! With a wave of a hand, Captain Andalion sends a horde of knights on our trail. Leah, wait! That's the captain we're running from. If you squint real closely at her, then you'll realize she's no different from you or me. I hope that makes you feel less guilty as it does for me. Be serious about this. What on earth did you do? To be quite honest, I didn't set out to anger her. I was only being honest when I told her that I couldn't accept her request. Had I did, then I'm certain I'd still be chased down for saying yes under false pretenses. False pretenses? Does that mean what I think it means? Captain Andalion is still trying to gain up on us and shows no signs of stopping. She really is putting her passion to that sprint. Is it perhaps because Leah really did spurn her other passions? If you don't want me calling you a mortal in public, then you better start running faster. Now it's my turn to hush you. If you don't want me saying so, then you cannot let the captain haul me back into that stable. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's being tied down if you're not going to at least tease me into it. So, was the captain really going to tie you up in the stable? If she had it her way, then I wouldn't doubt it for 1 second. All because I said I wouldn't entertain her whims, yet she dares to call it my royal duty to the court to appease her. If I do so much as slow down, dare I imagine what will become of my fate? What? So you're just shirking your duties? You must apologize for breaking her heart. What kind of knight runs away from his duties? Yeah, I mean... Breaking her heart? I don't know about that, but... Are you running away, dude? Will you stop with this charade? What kind of knight runs away from his duties? I forget how little time you've truly spent in that palace, my enigmatic beauty. You certainly convinced me at first that you were royalty before I realized who I was really in the company of. Does the captain really not understand why you wouldn't want to be her lover? Lover? Yeah, I'm confused as well. Leah begins to slow down, all just to cup my cheek. You're only proving yourself to be even more endearing in my eyes, you know that? If he comes any closer, I might have to be ready for the captain to pull out her sword for my sake. Leah, please be serious about this. Have you considered telling the king about her proposition? Surely he'd find it strange for her to ask such a thing from you. Oh, you mean for her to ask to be my lover? I thought you'd understand that people like us don't have the privilege of showing who we really are, even when someone gives us a window. For example, if I did have a lover, I would want it to be someone who understands what the sound of rainfall on the cerulean forest does for me. Okay, but what does this have to do with anything? The cerulean forest. There's only one I know of. Nowadays, I only see it in my dreams and memories. You remember it too, don't you? That quiet rainfall that used to sweep across the pine trees, and the way the rivers would flow into town afterwards. I used to have to take the ferry into the village before setting out on my journeys. His words are guiding my memories back to a landscape of rich blue forests that were once so clear as day in my mind. Just the mere memory of them, it brings a tear to my eyes. I remember the ferry and the rose path one would have to take back in Vestum. Don't you miss that sight, Lilica? Taking in his words, I realized that we've both stopped running. Leah, who are you really here for? Isn't it obvious by now? Since the start, it's always been. Step away from the maid, you cad. Captain Andalion nobly put an arm between us, taking no chances with him. The last thing you need is to indulge yourself after running from your post. Now, apologize to the poor maid. He ran from his post. Leah, I thought you said you spurned her advances. He said, what? Leah, what is the meaning of this? First, you refused to join the parade, and now you're telling people that I have no decent taste in lovers? I never precisely told her that. You thought you'd get away with it, didn't you? Well, I have more reason to have the king make you join the brigade. This is the perfect time for you to learn a little courtly discipline. So now you're really going to tie me up? Not for your benefit, but perhaps for this maid's safety. Honestly, I should have been suspicious when the good king told me that you'd be joining us for the time being. All he sent us is a slacker. One very theatrical slacker, mind you. Back to formation with you. And stop making those eyes at the maid. Can't you see that she just wants to go about her day in peace? As much as I'm quite sure she does, I don't regret giving her the thrill she needed for today. I said back to formation, Leah. There, Leah. Now he really can't escape her. Although, something tells me that he'll soon find his way out of this web again. Now, if only I could find a way out of having to haul these dresses back home, then at least one of us will have managed to escape our troubles for today. After arriving home, a letter arrives for me. How popular are you? What? And is this like a general phrase that you start a letter with? Like, hello, how are you? I'm fine. Maybe it's also a placeholder, I don't know, but... Oof. Yeah, I don't know. I get being lazy, but literally running away from your duties is a bit too much even for me, I think. While the mortals may say that our fortunes must have smiled upon us that very night, those blessed by the moon know which celestial forces are truly at work to bring you here to me. I've been reminiscing about our last meeting, and it conjures a smile every time. Those sighs, the way your lips crease when you think I'm not noticing, they all bear such honesty that could I not be endeared by them? Now you have the court wondering what has me smiling even in moments of silence. What is this magic? What is this power of yours? The curious one in me wants to know more, to become enriched by which wisdoms you possess. In turn, I seek more than just to give you answers, but to appease the restlessness that's been waging in your heart. Be bold and curious, and you shall find me under the strings of starlight. It's so interesting that these are so vague, like you think little things in there are pointing to specific people. They might, but it's so vague enough that it's not strange if you meet someone else afterwards, depending on your choice. Interesting way to do it. Shall I bask under the starry lights in the ballroom, or should I seek more wisdom in the starlit library? So I'm guessing this one's Callan, and the other one is Miria. I mean, I kind of had a bias since the first part, not gonna lie, so let's check out the library. Oh. Oh, is that a bug? Wait. Okay, I don't know if that was on purpose. It is the same text. Find me under the strings of starlight. Wait. Mortals, da-da-da. Okay, well, the mortals may say that our fortunes must have smiled upon me. Okay, I've been letting the moon guide me to you, but I now sense a change in your cosmic paths. I thought we understood each other, and someday could ever come to a point where the serene silence between us would alone speak for our hearts. Perhaps I believed that we held a connection stronger than what the stars dictated. Now I know that sentiment might only rest in my reveries. As such, I know there's plain text here, by the way. As such, I'll set you free from my words, along with a shard of my broken spirits. Okay, so is this a bad end already, or have we just is this us dismissing Callan? Continue. Oh, unsuccessful endeavor. It's a bad end, really. You have not succeeded in acquainting yourself with the proper company through the mysterious letters. Thus your journey must commence anew. What? What? Okay. Wait. Does that mean that I have to choose? Oh, wait. So that's what I was wondering. If maybe you have to make the right choice of which letter. Basically choosing the right answer. There's a right answer, basically, who is writing the letter. And it has to be you have to choose the corresponding person. That's a bit strange. Let me see if we can try that again. Sorry, I have to skip all of these. I'm just doing all the same choices again. I could take the fates. I thought we were making a choice on who we want to romance, but I mean, I guess maybe that comes later, or I mean, it's weaved in here with these kind of choices already, I think. And then with the letters, it's more about like unraveling the overall mystery. Where did that next moonlight? Wait. Okay. I was wondering where the skip button was. Give me what I truly want. Give me that rose. Okay, so this one. I've been gazing upon the world. I could show you once taking them together one quill at a time. And this brought us to Maria. I mean, yeah, tearing the letter doesn't bring us anywhere, I guess. So there. Okay, so the letters basically do have right or wrong answers. And then the choices you make while talking to the love interests and gain some points with them, I suppose. As for taste. Okay, and then this one was Leah. And cobblestone. So, like, I'm not going to do that right now, but I'm wondering if I choose the gardens here, then that means also it's the wrong choice. Would that also lead to a bad end? Interesting. Look up. Don't shirk your duties. Okay. So. Well, like having the eyes of the court on him, that would point to Callan, sure. Then I guess it's off to the ballroom. Once the Oberstarry's carriage leaves for Australia's, I secretly head for the garden once more. Well, I've been receiving letters lately. This flower hasn't said a word to me since that night. Nonetheless, those letters insist that I go to the next masquerade that's happening tonight. Should I dare risk it all again? As if reading my mind, the moonstone blossom begins to unfurl its delicate petals, welcoming a pocket of moonlight from above. And that's when I see it. Another letter. We're going to run out of space. So, what does this flower have in store for me this time? As tonight's theme celebrates the hunter and the hunted, you must enter this masquerade assuming the role which aligns with your passions and quest for answers. Do you fancy yourself the hunter who seeks to possess all in its wake for pride and satisfaction? Or will you be the hunted who must embrace today's thrills knowing that they may be their last? Neither? As I know all and see all, I believe there's no better match for a prince than a suitor whose heart embodies both roles. So no matter whether you believe you're only destined to assume one of these roles in your lifetime, tonight you will become both the huntress and the crystal swan. Wait. My heart is already fluttering and I haven't even finished this letter. Take the quill you've been using to pen your tenderest words and offer it to the blossoms blessed by the moon. In the stillness of this garden, I search deep within my apron pockets for my own quill, my only quill. After this night is over, I can only hope to have it back. I gently rest the quill on the blossom until its petals slowly begin to enclose around it. The moonlight swirls above, shining upon the flower as it swallows the last feather and finally begins to glow. This transformation is just like before, only this time I'm surrounded by feathers. Crystal feathers, like tiny mirrors staring deeply into my soul. Blessed by the moonlight, I become a vision of ethereal feathers and trains of opal silk. My mask is encrusted with starlight, matching the silver circlet adorning my head. The huntress and the swan, all in one disguise. All in the name of seeking answers and trying to change my destiny. I've been thinking this before, but rather than the Cinderella story where she only goes to the ball once and glass slipper and that's it, kind of thing, this is more reminiscent of the version where she is going there several times. Like she's transforming several times. You know, there's many Cinderella story versions. But also this, of course, its own thing. Just like the blossom said, tonight's theme can be felt and seen across every corner of this masquerade. One can find dashing nobles dressed in tunics, fancying themselves as hunters. Meanwhile, the heiresses have adorned themselves with feathered frocks and masks, each their own swan. There's only one noble who has no intentions of hunting swans tonight, and he's waiting right where I met him last time. Oh, Prince Callan, I can only wonder how upset the Queen must be about your wilted disposition. He's not even trying to partake in the festivities. Although there's something calming about seeing him again, like a totem in a reverie. I begin to make my way into the crowd, my eyes set on Callan. The hunters are all dancing with the swans, exchanging silent passions that cannot be spoken of until after dark. Raunchy. I suddenly feel a gloved hand on my arm. Excuse me, may I have this dance? I turn around expecting to meet a certain knight, only to be met with another vaguely familiar hunter draped in ruby furs. I should have known Sir Callister would find me here. My foster sisters did mention that he was accompanying the other nobles tonight. I just wasn't expecting him to be prowling about when he could be refilling his chalice instead. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were someone else just now.
Well, isn't that the thrill of tonight? All you have to know about me is that I, a hunter, may have just found my swan. That is, if you let me twirl you across this ballroom.
Somehow I forgot that this is what happens when you come to a ball like this. Yeah, like what is this? Hunters and swans? Is this like a swinger party? I don't know, the setup seems kind of weird. I hesitate for a moment, searching for a way to escape. Where is Maria tonight? She was so insistent on wanting me to come back here, but what about now? And what about Leah? With no other choice, I turned to Callister. You'd find a better game with another swan, or, well then, make me your prey. Oh, no. No, I don't. I didn't like that beginning, and even though it might be rude, it's better to be honest. My apologies, but you'd find a better game with another swan.
Oh, don't misunderestimate me. I can read between the lines. You're afraid that if you accept a dance with me, you'll fall out of favor with a certain prince. Is that right? Well then, let me tell you a little secret every other suitor here knows but you. You see, when he sees you dancing with another, the more he'll be reminded of what he has yet to possess. Otherwise, if he spots you pining in the corner, he'll know you want him desperately. So for him to want you, you have to show him that you don't wait for just one prey to cross your web.
Callister's whisper lingers between us as he offers me his hand.
What kind of swan would you be without a hunter taking you for himself?
I don't like that scenario. I get what he's saying. But oof. I guess if Callan is as, what was the word? Protective. Oh, I'm missing the word. Well, if he's like that with his roses, is he like that with his girls too? Possessive, that's it. His words are so honeyed and yet so dangerous. It doesn't help seeing Callan slowly being surrounded by suitors nearby. Even with the harem waiting for him, he keeps looking to the stairs. Oh, but wait, he's looking at Leah and his guest. Wait, who is she? The one who's just entered with Leah?
Oh, you mean the golden sunflower?
The sunflower?
It's my name for these Hylian fairies of the Sungloom Court. They sort of hate it when I call them sunflowers, but they're quite adorable when the sunshine falls upon them. I'm sure it sure looks like Leah's brought himself a sunflower for a swan. The lucky bastard.
But you don't know who she is?
If I'm anywhere near as lucky as him, perhaps I might by the end of the night. That said, I'd rather spend a little more time with you first. That is, if you'll accept my dance.
Just as Callister offers his hand out to me again, another hand reaches between us. Thank you, whoever it is.
You. I thought I recognized you.
Prince Callan? I try to collect myself as Callan shoots a glare at Callister.
Don't you dare say it. You have plenty of other swans asking to dance with you. For what reason, I haven't the slightest clue. You're a devil, Callan, for making me release my swan so quickly to a beast like you. Lysianthus was asking about you earlier. Have you danced with her yet? Oh, was she asking?
At the first chance he gets, Callan tears me away from Callister and starts leading me out of the dance floor. Now it's all beginning to feel like a dream, just like last time. How is this even possible? Just before we reach the table, another hand waits for Callan to let go to grab me and start taking me the other way. What? All of a sudden, I'm being dragged out of the ball. Wait, Callan! In a moment's panic, I'd looked to my captor, only to recognize her gilded mask. Miria, it's you! Where have you been all night? I'm afraid this ball's decor is a bit more thematically intricate than the last one. The Queen had been rather vague with me when I first asked her about it, but now she wants me to change it up again. Is that the only reason why? Well, if I say any more, we can't talk about it here. So there is more. Listen to me, Lilica. If I take you upstairs to explain, there's no coming back down here without the truth weighing upon your very soul. And now you made me curious. But if that's the risk you're willing to take, then come with me.
Stop right there, Miria. You're not taking my guest anywhere, not until I've spoken with her myself.
Callan, this isn't the time. Didn't we talk about this? Just look at the clock.
Then when will I have the damn time to say it?
Say what?
He wants to apologize for mistaking you for somebody else.
Turning the corner, Leah rests against the wall with a heavy glare at the prince. They're all here. Great, I think.
Isn't that what you were going to tell her, Callan? Besides, Lady Ovidia has been waiting to meet you in the rose gardens.
Lady Ovidia? So that's the Hylian fairy's name. I hold my breath as Callan ponders for a moment. Finally, he turns to me first.
Whatever you do, don't leave. Miria, don't you dare bring her upstairs either. At least not until I've properly spoken with her. I promise I'll make this quick. Callan, be careful. I'll be back shortly.
With a heavy sigh, Callan immediately returns to the ball. Meanwhile, I turn my heel the other way. My dearest, please wait. All this time, I kept thinking if I arrived knowing someone wants me back here, I'd learn the truth sooner. But if no one wants to reveal themselves to me, then why wait until real danger comes along? Isn't that's a bit of an overreaction? I mean, it's more like they all want to talk to you. Like, chill. My dearest, stop. I don't want to have to use my magic on you. Then tell me this isn't a ruse or give me one good reason to stay. What? No. Tell me this isn't a ruse, I'd say. Then tell me this isn't a ruse. If this is my foster family's idea of playing a cruel joke on me, then just tell me now, Miria. Believe me when I say that I've been dealt with worse than this, so I can only hope that I'll get over this pain much more quickly. My dearest, this is no ruse. Then explain to me in all your magical expertise, why would someone grant me the wish of coming here just for me to feel even more like a stranger in your world? But you're not a stranger, at least not to me, nor even to Callan. Perhaps out of everyone here, you should be the one with the noble right to belong. But if I were to say any more just yet, then the Oberstarry house might no longer be a safe place to return to. When the time comes, they may very well be the least of your worries. If you promise to put your trust in me, even if just until the next ball, I will make my vow to ensure that not only will I protect you from what comes next, but that Callan and Leah will do so as well. So please, my dear, give me your word. Just moments ago, I was ready to leave no matter what they'd say. I should know better than to let any fairy lead me down their starry labyrinths. And yet, the energy within this castle keeps luring me back here. Suddenly, a bang goes off from outside the gardens. By the nimbus above, the beast has returned. A piercing roar emits into night, followed by the screams of swans and hunters rushing back inside to gather around the ballroom. Wait, where's Callan? Didn't he go outside with Lady Ovidia just now? He was, but he's likely stayed outside to handle the beast himself. I should go help him as well. You need to wait here until one of us comes back. But Miria... If you won't listen to him, then please listen to me. You need to stay here. The last thing you want is for this plan to go. So there is a plan. Another bang goes off, followed by another ghastly shriek echoing through the night sky. Pulling me behind her, Miria immediately seals the doors of this castle with a protective spell. Just as she prepares one for the door to the grounds, Lear comes running through, carrying an unconscious Lady Ovidia on his back. Miria, you need to take her now. That damn shadow tried to attack her, and that bloody prince only barely stopped it before it killed her. The king and queen don't know that I've taken her, so don't say a word. Fine then, give her to me. I'll have Astrophil fetch some elixir for her so she wakes up. Bring her back to me safely, will you? Just as long as you promise to keep Lelica safe until I return. Consider it done. As Miria takes Lady Ovidia upstairs, Lear shuts the door. Lear, shouldn't we go wait with the other guests? Trust me, it's better if we stay here. The rest of the knights have already gone outside to help Callan again. Do you think he'll be alright? I wouldn't worry about him. He's rehearsed for this moment more than one might think. And that said, I was surprised that the beast managed to draw more blood out of him this time. Callan's been injured. Was it from trying to save your lover? My lover? More like she's Callan's lover, or, well, she was once. Of course, the court would never accept a Hylian fairy sharing the throne with him. Since then, the royal family has been struggling to find someone new to steal his gaze. Perhaps they're hoping for a certain mystery guest to become the new gem of his heart. If only they knew the real truth about their gem. So all this time, is that why someone's been summoning me here? So that I could make the prince forget his true love? Is that why Miria was trying to help me meet him? Lost for words, I simply turned to Lear, but he already knows what's on my mind. What else should I know about Prince Callan? Now you're asking the questions, my enigma. Come here. Taking my hand, Lear pulls me into a strong grasp and presses me against the door. Wait, Lear, what are you doing? Shh, listen through the door. Just focus on what's going on outside the castle. All I can hear is Callan fighting off that shrieking beast. Good, then keep listening to it. You see, at the next swing you'll hear another shriek in about 3, 2, 1. Like clockwork, we both hear Callan strike the beast, and it releases another piercing scream. The lights flicker across the castle, but nothing phases Lear. How did you know he was going to strike it at that precise moment? Keep listening. Soon you'll start to notice the pattern too. I press against the door once more, carefully listening for Callan's movements.
His footwork is so perfectly timed, isn't it? He'll evade, then recoil, and release an aura at the beast to stun it. When he's done all three, he'll repeat the routine one more time.
So he has a pattern like a boss in a video game, or what? When you describe it like that, it's almost as if Callan has been
rehearsing this moment.
But you said Callan was hurt just now, didn't you? And what about what happened to Lady Ovidia? You said so yourself, those were real injuries, weren't they?
Well, acquiring casualties is one way to make this charade all the more convincing, isn't it?
But why is there a charade in the first place? Does it mean there is no penumbral beast?
Well, there is one, but the king and queen would rather put on a little act for the court than to reveal their identity. But just think for a moment. Who would they be so willing to protect by crafting such a dangerous charade? In case you haven't realized it, I'll give you one more hint. Who is also outside of the castle right now?
I stop and look at Lear, realizing what he's just said. So the beast is Callan? But how is that possible? How would you even know about all this, Lear?
You learn a lot by keeping one foot in the door and the other outside. If the magician won't tell you yet, and the prince will surely deny it, then you might as well let me be the one person you can trust in this palace.
With the sounds finally going quiet outside, Lear releases me from his embrace.
The king and queen will now tell the guests that their precious son has banished the so-called beast yet again. But mark my words, they're only trying to give him an alibi for when he actually turns into one.
When will that happen?
I've yet to figure it out myself, but I sense it won't be long. Some might call this a curse, but I see it as the one thing that could be leveraged against this royal family.
That's not better, is it?
I know Miria told you to stay here in the castle, but if you leave now, they'll never suspect you know the secret.
What if I choose to stay?
In spite of what Miria says, nobody can guarantee your safety inside these halls. Remember that only Callan has a palace to enshrine himself, even if it wasn't built by his own ancestors. No matter what the Celestites say, this palace will always rightfully belong to the Umbral Fairies. Let tonight be the proof that the royalty in the next room sits on a throne of lies. If you think you can withstand their falsehoods for one more night, then I won't stop you from joining their festivities. If not, this is your chance to leave, and let me come find you when the time is right.
Oof. Ha. Dropping some bombs on us already. Okay, sorry. Okay, so we have Miria, who's clearly plotting something because she mentioned a plan. Something is going on. Well, she did want to matchmake us with Callan, so she's trying to help him out, and she obviously knows the secret then as well. And Callan used to have someone he loves, but they were separated, I guess. But does that also have anything to do with him being the beast? I mean, we only have so much information for now. I'm just trying to already piece together the roles each of these people is playing. Like Lear, sure, he's supposed to come across as shirking his duties and whatever, but in reality he seems to be more like a spy. Following his own agency, definitely. Run away from this masquerade kind of feels like the safer thing to do. Or return to the masquerade, which I mean, neither. We're supposed to stay here, is what Miria said, which is what I kind of want to follow, just because I'm curious what she's going to tell us. I'm gonna try to return. Even with stairs waiting for me, I can't help but look to the ballroom door. Oh, so you still don't believe me, even after what I just told you? Even if Callan is the real beast, you did say that his wounds are still real. And earlier when you said that you wanted to apologize for mistaking me for someone, did you mean Lady Ovidia? Are you only asking because you still think you have a chance with him? All just because you think that someone in this palace thinks you're the one for him? Have you even stopped to wonder whether this person is knowingly luring you towards a monster? As it stands, you still haven't told me how you know that Callan is a beast. For all I know, you could be lying too. Even then, exactly why do you think that he would ever come to choose a mortal for anything more than a servant? Go on, tell me. Do you really think that if you two removed each other's masks, that he'd bring you over to his almighty daddy for his blessing to let some mortal rule this palace with him? Do you really believe that this beast of a man is capable of treating a mortal as anything but his next prey? That's only if Callan really is the beast. Just because you revealed something to me tonight doesn't mean I can trust your every word yet. True? If you're expecting me to trust you entirely, truly, deeply, with whole heart, then perhaps you'll find the right words to change my mind someday. Until then, I simply have to follow what both my heart and mind can agree upon right now. If this is your challenge for me, then I'd be a fool not to take it. Just remember, however, once you step inside that room, they'll force a role onto you to go on with their little play. And for the record, I'd only believe that Callan wasn't a beast if his kind hadn't taken it upon themselves to rewrite history when they did. With a hand to his chest, Leah steps away from the door as I head inside. It's not that I don't believe him, but there's always, there's just other sides as well. Other sides of the story. Returning to the ball, I find all of the guests despairing together on the dance floor. The king and queen are surrounded by a circle of tearful nobles in their private corner, as everyone waits in bated breath for Callan to return. Soon he comes stumbling in, clutching at the wound on his chest. He's gone. The entire room gasps as the queen rushes forth to catch him in her arms. My son, how could that wretched beast do this to you? Did you really banish him, my dear? For good? I'm sure if it returns, it will be much weaker than before. Then I'll have my chance. Watching them, I don't want to believe that they've staged such a thing. Callan does look like he's in a lot of pain. Something tells me that if he had it his way, he wouldn't be playing along like this. I quietly watch from the door as the king presses his hand to the ailing prince's shoulder. Good work, my son. This court owes you their life for this, if not more for everything more that you do for them. Come now, we'll have Miria fix you an elixir. Meanwhile, the rest of you please live in the spirits of this palace again. Your future king will be healed shortly and ready to join the festivities once more. Oh, okay. That powerful of elixir you can make? Would these guests be as pleasant towards Callan if they knew that he really was the beast? How did he even become one in the first place? Suddenly, the room goes silent once more. It's not until Callan starts staggering in my direction that I realize he spotted me in the crowd. Everyone begins whispering all around us, especially the king and queen.
You stayed. Somehow I thought you'd be the type to go against my words or Miria's. If you left without saying goodbye this time, I would have had to track you down.
Biting against the pain, Callan attempts to study me closely, no longer caring for who's watching.
Really now, who are you? Leah won't tell me, and neither will Miria. I'm starting to think that they won't let me in on each other and each of their secrets.
Speaking of Maria, where is she? Is she still upstairs with Lady Ovidia?
Please, I'm the one with the questions right now. Are you really not going to tell me who you are? When else do you plan on telling me then?
Your Highness, is this really the place for such revelations? From the corner of my eye, I can see everyone beginning to wonder where this talk is going. Even the king and queen are starting to rise from their table, eager to watch as Callan attempts to reach for me. Callan, what are you...
I said please, do this for me. At least then I'll know one more thing about you.
Taking my hand in his, Callan slowly attempts to bring it to his heart. Yet as soon as it grazes his chest, the blood on his wound begins to turn as dark as the night. All at once, Callan collapses against me in agony.
Ah!
Your Highness! The crowd gasps as the shadowy drops of blood wisping onto the ballroom floor. Oh no, please no. What have I done? Callan, forgive me. I don't know what's happening.
Don't let go.
Why not? I'm only making it worse.
No, you're not.
In a flash of light, Callan's strength suddenly returns, reviving him back on his feet. What? Panting, he watches as his wounds fade and the last of his blood crystallizes just before hitting the floor.
How did you do that?
If only I knew what to even say, but I'm just as speechless as he is. Since when do I know how to do such a thing? Lost for words, I do the first thing that comes to mind. Run.
No, you're not leaving. You can't. Let her go, my son. Even if she escapes, she won't get very far.
Despite his words, neither he nor the queen have yet to summon their guards, so I take my chances and run for the door. Just before leaving, I catch Queen Calmine giving me an icy look from behind her fan. If I wasn't a target before, now I know that I am. Hello? What's happening? After all what's happened tonight, I don't know if I can call this place home anymore. While the Oberstaris didn't catch me at the ball, there's a chance they would have. Had I stayed longer. As I've managed to keep one secret, I've unknowingly unleashed another about myself that I didn't know existed until today. I don't think Leah's supposed to be here. This is just a demo, so yeah. And now that I also know that Callan and his family have a big secret of his own, Australia's might be more of a trap than someplace new to call home. Then again, isn't my rightful home still back in Vestum? Once the feathers fade off my gown and seep back into the flower beds, I can finally look at myself again from the reflection on the glass. Perhaps this is how I picture myself even when I wear a mask. But tonight proved that Maria, Leah and Callan all see something different in me. Hearing my sighs, the moonstone blossom starts to rustle again. Oh, are you returning my quilt to me? As well as another letter. Of course. After all that's transpired, is it safe to even read this one? My heart grows restless seeing the letter before me, but that fear soon gives way to curiosity. My mysterious guest. I tried to warn you tonight, but there were too many hunters and swans among us for me to bare my soul as I'd intended. Too much gossip may come from this night, and I have no doubt that the palace will somehow seek to control it before the next masquerade. Before you think that it would be better to never see me again, please let me make myself clear. After tonight, you've ignited a stronger fire within me, one that reaches the depths of my soul. And for that, I want to personally invite you to be my guest at the next ball. Not only do I promise that a vow of love may come your way then, but this time I will take a stand to finally expose the darkness that surrounds this court, all in the name of protecting what's quickly becoming an important treasure to me. You. The next day. Yeah, that was a lot, but here's the end of the demo. That's all we have for the demo right now. If you enjoyed, check out our Kickstarter and wishlist on Steam. Just clicking the restart to get back to... okay. Get me to the menu. Oh, yeah. So, that was a lot. Again, Maria's plotting something. Leah seems like a spy and Callan is the beast, I guess. I'm wondering if it's kind of a Beauty and the Beast situation? Not fully, obviously. But maybe. I mean, with the roses. Could be. So everyone has their secrets, which... very, very interesting. Definitely wants you to know, like makes you want to know more, right? Very interesting so far. So yeah, I did see that the Kickstarter has ended and was like it's a success. Jeez, I'm sorry. This went on a little longer than I expected. But yeah, there was already a big glimpse into the story without having revealed too much. There's still so many mysteries. Very, very interesting. Yeah, I think that's it from me for now. Again, I did feel like Maria might be the one I wanted to romance first. But she's also the most mysterious in this, I guess. Like she seems like she talks very openly to us. But, the other two, like we know more about the other two already, it seems. Very, very interesting. Yeah, so the demo is on Steam if you want to check it out for yourself. Try some of the other dialogue options. And the full game is supposed to be released later this year. So if you're interested to see that, you should wishlist the game. That always helps devs out. And yeah, and that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'd appreciate if you let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And until next time, bye bye.